Welcome to the deep dive. You know, if there's one constant in marketing, it's change, isn't it?
Absolutely. It seems like every day there's new tech, shifting consumer habits, even global events throwing
It
curveballs.
really is a whirlwind. And you have to
Mhm.
wonder, how do brands even keep up? How do they cut through all that noise and, genuinely connect with us?
What's the million-dollar question?
But today, that's exactly what we're trying to do. Cut through some of that noise for you.
Yeah.
Our mission in this deep dive,
Hmm.
give you a shortcut, really, to understanding the most important marketing trends of 2025.
Hmm.
We've been digging into some really interesting new research, and we think we've got some insights that'll help demystify what's shaping the brand experiences you encounter every day.
And it's important to remember, this isn't, just for marketers listening in, these trends, they fundamentally change how brands interact with you,
Well,
with all of us as consumers. It's really about understanding what makes an experience feel valuable, what makes it relevant. From the ads you see to customer service chats, it touches everything.
so diving into the research, it paints a picture of, well, a pretty challenging landscape for chief marketing officers, the CMOs.
Definitely.
It actually says there's no shortage of obstacles.
Hmm.
Things like economic uncertainty, geopolitical issues, climate change. It sounds tough.
It absolutely is a perfect storm almost. But interestingly, the research also highlights a clear strategy for navigating this.
Okay.
Brands that really embrace personalization, the ones adopting new technology, they seem best positioned to grow. The core idea, and this is key, is delivering greater value by shaping experiences that consumers find relevant.
Relevant experiences. It always comes back to that, doesn't
It
it?
does. It's about making you, the consumer, feel understood.
Which leads us perfectly into maybe the biggest finding. Investment in personalization continues to pay off. It's called a strategic asset for companies to drive enterprise growth.
Oh.
Why is it so powerful? What's the magic there?
Well, I think it taps into something pretty fundamental. We all want to feel understood, right, as individuals. So when a brand gets your preferences or maybe anticipates what you need, it feels less like a transaction, more, I don't know, personal.
Yeah, like they actually get you.
Exactly. And that connection, that feeling, that's where the real value is built. The research shows companies that nail this. They're not just meeting targets, they're soaring past their revenue goals.
Soaring past them. Wow.
Yeah, because customers buy more, they come back more often, they become, really loyal advocates.
That makes intuitive sense. I mean, I definitely find myself gravitating towards sites or apps that remember me or suggest things I'm actually interested in.
Right.
And the stats you mentioned are pretty stark. 75% of consumers are more likely to purchase from brands that deliver personalized content. 3/4.
It's huge. And flip side, for the businesses.
Yeah, 48% of personalization leaders are more likely to exceed revenue goals. Nearly half. Attributing it directly to personalization.
So think about it next time you're shopping or browsing. That feeling when a brand just clicks with what you need. That's personalization working.
Making you more likely to engage, more likely to buy.
Exactly. It's a win-win. Value for you, value for them.
Okay, so personalization is huge. But what's driving this ability to personalize at such a massive scale now? I suspect I know the answer.
I think we both do. It's the tech everyone's talking about. Generative AI.
Right. We've all heard the buzz, the hype, but how is it actually moving, as the research puts it, from buzzword to business asset in marketing?
Well, what's really striking is how fast it's being integrated. The source we looked at says generative AI will become an essential component of nearly all enterprise software offerings by the end of 2024.
By the end of this year.
This year. It's not some future thing anymore. It's becoming baked into the standard toolkit.
And the financial impact they're projecting.
Oh, it's massive. The research suggests this integration could boost revenues by around $10 billion for enterprise software companies.
$10 billion.
Huh?
Just from integrating Gen AI, that's staggering.
It really is, and you see the investment following that potential. 70% of marketing leaders are setting aside budget specifically for Gen AI.
It's 50%.
And 56% are actively investing right now. Plus, 40% of brands expect to be using Gen AI tools in their business very soon. It's clearly a major strategic shift happening very quickly.
So, okay, for the marketers listening, what does Gen AI actually do for them? Is it just making ad copy or pictures faster? Or is there more to it?
It definitely brings efficiency, creativity, and precision, yes.
Huh.
Especially for personalized content, service, localization, doing all that at scale. But the real shift, I think, it's changing how marketing gets done. Instead of marketers manually creating every single variation of an email or an ad.
Which must be incredibly time-consuming.
Exactly. Gen AI can handle a lot of that initial creation. It frees up the humans to focus more on the strategy, the oversight, the refinement, making hyper-personalized campaigns feasible for, millions of customers.
So it's like an amplifier for their strategic thinking.
Precisely. Imagine perfectly tailored emails, unique ad messages, even localized customer support, all generated almost instantly based on individual data. That's the power. Strategy over just grunt work.
That makes a lot of sense. Yeah. Okay, so personalization and AI are clearly huge pillars, but the research also zooms out, right? It gives us a bigger picture with, what was it, 8 interconnected trends?
Yeah, exactly. 8 trends that together show where marketing is heading right now and in the near future. It's not just about 1 or 2 things.
Right, it's a whole ecosystem.
It really is. So the first one they highlight is connect and captivate omni-channel experiences.
Omni-channel.
Basically creating a unified experience, stitching together your journey across all the different ways you might interact with a brand, digital, physical, all of it.
So like seeing an ad on Instagram, then browsing the website, maybe later picking something up in store, and it all feels connected.
Exactly that. Smooth, continuous, no jarring gaps. It should feel like one conversation.
Yeah, that seamlessness makes a huge difference to how you perceive the brand.
For sure. Then second, as we've discussed, empower with automation and generative AI, using that tech for efficiency and precision in personalization.
Got it.
Third is really interesting. Transform privacy into opportunity with first-party data.
Okay, privacy and opportunity, how does that work?
It's about embracing privacy-friendly data strategies, building trust, turning the data customers give you directly, that's first-party data, into your most valuable asset.
So like when I sign up for a newsletter or create an account?
Exactly. You've given explicit consent. It builds trust because it's transparent, not sneaky tracking.
That feels like a really important shift.
It is. Fourth builds on that. Deliver hyper-personalized experiences at scale, using all that data and tech to make every interaction meaningful, segmenting customers, tailoring journeys right through to loyalty.
Scaling that they get me feeling.
You got it. Fifth is internal. Supercharge teams with future-ready skills. Investing in the marketing teams themselves, giving them the tools, the data skills, making them agile.
So the people behind the scenes need to evolve too.
Absolutely. Sixth is about balance. Unite brand purpose with revenue-driven agility.
Purpose and revenue. Sometimes feels like those are opposites.
Yeah, but the idea is to connect them. Design campaigns that drive sales now, but also build that long-term brand loyalty and align with a genuine purpose. Authenticity plus results.
So it's not just selling stuff, it's building a relationship based on shared values, which then drives sales. Makes sense.
Exactly. Seventh, optimize retail media and agency relationships for impact. Streamlining how brands work with retailers and agencies to boost reach, ROI, and keep the message consistent.
Retail media. That's like the ads you see on Amazon or maybe your grocery app?
Precisely. Advertising right there on the retailer's platform, using their data, often right when you're about to buy.
Yeah.
Very powerful.
Smarter advertising closer to the purchase point.
Okay. And number 8, integrate social media and e-commerce for growth. This is huge. Capitalizing on that merger of social platforms and shopping.
Like buying directly from an Instagram post or a TikTok video.
Yep. Making shopping seamless right within the apps where people are already spending their time. Removing friction.
Wow, that's a really comprehensive list. As you were talking, I was definitely ticking off the ones I see all the time. That social commerce one is everywhere now.
It really is.
For you listening, what jumps out? Which of these trends feel most familiar in your own life? Or which ones are maybe the most surprising?
It's interesting to reflect on, isn't it?
Definitely. So if we tie all this together, what's the big takeaway? What's the core message for brands, and I guess for us as consumers too?
Well, connecting the dots, it really seems to point to brands needing to be incredibly agile, really data savvy, and just fundamentally customer centric, more than ever before.
Agile, data savvy, customer centric.
Yeah. It boils down to building trust through relevant, personalized experiences, and then using tech like Gen AI to actually deliver that consistently at scale, making every interaction feel like it was meant just for you.
Moving away from that old mass market blast towards something much more individual.
Exactly. That's the core shift.
Okay, so to recap the main points from this deep dive. Personalization. Not just nice, it's a core revenue engine. generative AI. It's moving past hype, becoming a fundamental tool, like right now. And finally, growth requires this holistic, connected approach across all the places you interact with. Customers, social, email, website, stores, first-party data, everything. It all needs to work together.
Absolutely. It's about the total experience. Which leads to a final thought, maybe something for you, the listener, to ponder.
Okay.
How is all this increasing sophistication and personalization in AI going to change your everyday interactions with brands? And maybe more interestingly, what new expectations will you start to have? Will you begin to expect, every ad, every offer, every bit of service to be perfectly tailored? And what happens in your mind when it isn't? Does it start to feel jarring?